Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I just want to offer you guys a few tips for dealing with drama queens, with psychodrama, because I believe that it has become the main form of interaction within our culture, within our society. I think you can see this, like even just watching the news, where basically you're just looking at people giving their peak emotional experience of a situation. Like they're not talking about anything that has happened or hasn't happened. All they're communicating is how they feel about, say, Donald Trump, how they feel about immigration. And this is all about creating drama and creating chaos so that they can get their point of view across. And it's pervasive. You could be living with a drama queen. You could be working with a drama queen. These are people who use chaos, drama, interpersonal conflict to control the situation. Understand that the main thing that people are after in almost all instances is simply control. So let's go through a few of these tips to avoid dealing with drama queens and psychodrama. The men are doing it just as much as the women. So first tip, don't feed the fire. The drama queens crave emotional reactions. You need to stay calm, neutral, and non-reactive, especially as they're escalating things. Think of it like dealing with a fire. You just starve it of oxygen, which happens to be your emotional energy. Say things like, that's unfortunate, or I see, rather than getting involved in their emotional situation. Secondly, set some boundaries and enforce them. Drama queens push the limits. That's what they're doing. They're just testing to see how far they can go. Make your boundaries crystal clear and follow them. This is like professional detachment. You're like a doctor who's insisting that everything be sterilized. It has nothing to do with how anybody feels or whatever's going on. You know, you're compassionate, you're listening, but no, these are professional boundaries. So I'm not going to have this conversation with you if you keep yelling. That's all. And then you just walk away. Thirdly, don't get pulled into the performance. I see this a lot, kind of like people with managers. If you were a good manager, you would understand and let me come in late regularly, 15 minutes late every day. So they're playing this idea of you being a good manager and them getting everything they want against each other. And they'll escalate this. They'll then go to your boss and say, he's being a bad manager. He's not addressing my needs. So it's a performance. It's a performance to gain control of the situation by introducing chaos into it. And it's all about them. It's all about them getting what they want. Don't become the supporting actor in their emotional play. Redirect the conversation or exit it. You are not obligated to validate somebody else's theatrics. Fourthly, lower your expectations. You're not gonna have a meaningful conversation. You're not gonna get your point across to somebody who's trying to play you. You will not fix them. You will not have a normal, stable relationship with them. Your only hope is to completely cut off and limit your relationship with them. Accept that they thrive in chaos. That's where they are at their best. And adjust your involvement with them accordingly. This is just a group of guys who want to go crazy and complain and bitch and moan and then act out. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with writing an essay. It's got nothing to do with getting an article published. They're not going to come into your work area. You know what I mean? They're not going to come up to your level. It's a lot easier for them to drag you down to their level than it is for you to lift them up. It's easier to fall back than it is to go up. Number 5, stay focused on outcomes, on results. People want to come to you. They want to talk to you about how they feel about something emotionally. Keep it focused on, what is it that you need? What is it that you're asking? So you're putting all the emotional stuff aside and you're focusing on the outcome, on the results. Okay, this is important even with your close friends and family. Keep your interactions goal-oriented. What are we doing here? What are we trying to accomplish here? And keep them short. Anything that goes beyond simple things like yes and no is an invitation for like this emotional, subjective interpretation of everything. So you're saying things like, let's focus on the tasks at hand, or what's the solution, not the story. Whenever anybody starts telling me a story, I know where it's going. That story is going to a place where they pretend to be the victim, and that the people who they don't like, they pretend to be the victimizers. Does this sound familiar to you, MGTOW? So it's the same old story. Moving on. Number 6, don't take any of this stuff personally. These are wounded, injured people who really can't be very effective in the normal course of human events. What they're doing is they're attacking you, your obligations. Oh, you're not being a good manager. Oh, you're not being a good friend. You should do this. A real man would do this or that. They're using fear, guilt, obligation. They're personally attacking you. They're saying if you were a good blah, 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 then you would do blah, blah, blah. So it's a personal attack, but it's not personal. They don't know you. They don't care about you. They're not analyzing the situation. They just have something that they can attack you with. This is very much like the legal system, okay, the court system. They don't care if you committed the crime or didn't commit the crime. All they care about is whether or not they can make the compelling argument that you committed the crime. So they're willing to betray almost every bit of their integrity. They're just going for the legal aspect of it. And it's quite horrible to see it, to be involved in it, to understand what's actually going on, how it's a capitulation, it's a betrayal of our values so that people can fit into a group. And although it's a personal attack, it's not personal. So just something to keep in mind. Number 7, stay private, stay guarded. Drama queens often gossip or twist what you say. Keep your life tight. Don't overshare. Share less, listen more, and keep your emotional distance. Number 8, know when to walk away. Sometimes the best move is cutting all contact, especially if the drama queen is toxic, manipulative, or emotionally abusive. You have a choice between your peace or their chaos. If you go into their chaos, you don't get to have your peace. Keep that in mind. Bonus, some things not to do. Don't try to out-dramatize them. You'll lose. Don't try to become their therapist. Don't try to analyze their situation. It's not a real situation. They're making it up. Remember, don't ignore the red flags, hoping that the person is going to calm down. Don't be looking at this like, oh, this is just a one-off situation. It's like, no, this is how that person operates. You're going to see the red flags, and you're going to ignore them. You know, it really is the difference between the experienced self and the remembered self. You need to remember how these people are, what they're doing, the games that they're playing. Otherwise, you're going to get sucked right into the experience of it all. And it's a terrible place. So these tips, these ideas, they're not just for you dealing with women. They're for you to deal with emotionally overreactive people who are trying to use emotions and feelings as, you know, their guideposts in life, and then simply manipulating people around their feelings. Person falls into an extremely stressful situation. Yeah, we can expect some sort of, emotional reactions and things like that. But I'm talking about here people who this is how they operate in life. This is like the toxic underling that you hire in the new job. Everything around them goes toxic. Nobody around them does their job. Everything is a problem. They're not fitting in. They're not doing the difficult work. They're not getting things done. They're not making your problems fewer. They're adding to the problems. So these are just some tips for how to deal with these types of people. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Find my Cash App donation link, click on it, and help out the Howard Dare channel with whatever you can, because there is no support from any aspect of society for me talking to you about reality and about things that you need to do to get along in an emotionally subjective, feminized, gynocentric world. So I need your support, right? It's important to me. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.